All right, so NVIDIA, the big AI chip company, they just lost a crazy amount of money, like, what was it? Almost $600 billion?
Yeah, 600 billion in just one day.
That's insane. One day. And this isn't some big scandal or anything.
No shady business practices or failed products, nothing like that.
This all comes down to a new AI company. I think they're called DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, yeah, and all it took was them launching this new app, and the market just went nuts.
Yeah, U.S. chip stocks tanking, the S&P 500, even the NASDAQ.
It's like they just pushed a button and the whole tech world just exploded.
So what makes this DeepSeek so different from everyone else? What are they doing that's causing this whole meltdown?
Well, their app, it can go head to head with even the biggest names out there, ChatGPT and all those guys.
Really? I mean, they can actually compete with those guys.
Oh, yeah, even beat them in some areas. But here's the real kicker. They're doing it for, like, pennies on the dollar.
That's what's really blowing my mind, right? Yeah, these companies spending billions of dollars on these giant data centers, supercomputers and all that.
And then DeepSeek comes out of nowhere, and it's just, oh, we did it for, like, nothing.
So are they just, like, geniuses? How are they doing this?
Well, it kind of calls into question this whole, bigger is better mentality in AI, right?
Yeah, it's like the arms race, but for AI. Everyone's just throwing money at the problem.
And then DeepSeek just walks in and changes the rules of the game. So I guess the question is, what's the better way?
Right, brute force, or is DeepSeek gone to something different here?
Exactly.
So who is this DeepSeek anyway? Who's behind it all?
Well, their founder, Ling W. Fang, he's a bit of a mystery.
Yeah, he's not exactly the typical Silicon Valley CEO, right?
No, not at all. Doesn't seem interested in the spotlight, unlike a lot of tech CEOs we see.
Right.
Very little information out there about him. We can only find like one public photo. Yeah, it's his background is interesting though. Mix of finance and computer vision.
Huh. That is an interesting combination.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if that's informing DeepSeek's unique approach to AI.
Right, right.
And even though most people had never heard of him or DeepSeek before this whole thing blew up, there were whispers in the AI community.
Oh, really? Like it was a secret society or something?
Well, not quite a secret society, but there was definitely a sense that something big was coming.
Okay, so let's get into what DeepSeek can actually do.
Right, because it's not just another chatbot. This thing can do it all.
Like what can it do?
Well, it can code, like actually write computer programs.
No way.
Yeah, and it can solve some pretty complex math problems.
Wow, that's impressive.
Oh, and it can write human quality text too, like articles, stories, you name it.
So it's like a superpowered Swiss Army knife of AI.
That's one way to put it.
And here's what I find really cool. It's open source.
Yeah, that's a big deal, unlike some of the other AI projects out there.
Right, it's not locked away behind, closed doors.
Exactly. Developers can dig into the code, they can modify it, even use it commercially.
So anyone can just take this super powerful AI and use it for their own projects.
That's the idea, and that's what's so exciting. The potential for innovation is huge.
I mean, you could build entirely new applications with this, right? Entirely new industries even.
Absolutely. The possibilities are, well, they're pretty much limitless.
All right, let's get back to this cost thing for a second, because it just doesn't make sense to me.
It's crazy, right?
Experts are saying these future AI models could cost like $100 billion to train.
Yeah, that's the kind of numbers we're talking about.
And DeepSeek's saying they did it for $6 million.
6 million. That's it. One training run, $6 million bucks.
How is that even possible?
Well, it's all about efficiency. They're getting incredible performance without all the bells and whistles.
And that's why NVIDIA's in so much trouble, right?
Yeah, DeepSeek is showing that maybe you don't need all those expensive chips and data centers.
All right, their whole business model is kind of being thrown out the window.
It's not just NVIDIA, though. Energy companies, equipment manufacturers, they're all feeling the heat.
Yeah, if this low-energy, high-efficiency model catches on, they're in trouble.
Get trouble.
So, how did DeepSeek do this, especially with the U.S. not letting them buy the good chips?
They had to get creative.
Right. They couldn't just throw money at the problem like everyone else.
They focused on using older, less powerful NVIDIA GPUs, basically squeezing every bit of performance out of them.
So they're like those, those game developers who can make older consoles look amazing.
Yeah, it's like, remember how good The Last of Us looked on the PlayStation 3?
Yeah, that was incredible for the time.
Exactly. It's all about optimization, being clever with what you have.
So maybe DeepSeek's plan was already in motion before the U.S. even put the restrictions in place.
Could be. It would certainly explain their impressive foresight.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the first time a Chinese tech company surprised everyone.
No. Remember when Huawei unveiled that advanced phone chip despite the U.S. sanctions?
Oh, yeah, that was a big deal.
Definitely ruffled some feathers.
It seems like DeepSeek's doing the same thing now. Washington's not too happy about it.
There are a lot of people asking questions. Some are even suggesting they're using more chips than they're letting on.
Or maybe they borrowed technology from someone else.
That's another theory, but so far DeepSeek's staying quiet. They haven't commented on any of this.
Well, even if they did use existing technology, their focus on efficiency is still a huge innovation.
Oh, absolutely. It's a completely different way of thinking about AI development.
And that's why everyone's so freaked out, right? This isn't just some new app. It's a challenge to the entire system.
It's a wake-up call for Silicon Valley, that's for sure, and it shows just how powerful China's tech sector is becoming.
It's interesting, though, even some big names in the U.S., like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they've actually praised DeepSeek,
That's right. They see it as healthy competition.
which is kind of surprising, I guess.
It is, but it also shows that they recognize the U.S. can't afford to be complacent.
Right, the AI landscape is changing, and DeepSeek is just the beginning.
Exactly. This is just the first shot across the bow.
It really makes you think, if DeepSeek can do so much with so little, could this, change the whole AI game?
It very well could. We're talking about potentially democratizing
Ah.
AI, making it so anyone can get involved.
Yeah, it wouldn't just be the Googles and Microsofts of the world anymore, right?
Exactly. Imagine startups, small businesses, even just individuals all having access to this kind of power.
It's kind of mind-blowing. Think of all the new ideas, the innovation that could come from that.
It could be a complete paradigm shift. We could see solutions to problems we haven't even thought of yet.
But wouldn't that also create a whole new set of problems? Like, what about all the jobs that AI could replace?
That's definitely a valid concern. Job displacement is something we need to be prepared for as AI advances.
It's a tough balance, right? On one hand, you have all this incredible potential, but on the other, you have people potentially losing their livelihoods.
It's a complex issue, no doubt about it. But maybe it's an opportunity to rethink how we work all together.
Yeah, maybe AI can free us from the more repetitive, boring tasks,
Exactly. And that frees us up to focus on things that require creativity, critical thinking, things that AI can't replicate.
So it's not about being afraid of AI. It's about adapting and finding ways to work alongside it.
Absolutely. And DeepSeek's explainable AI could play a big role in that.
Right. If we can understand how the AI is making its decisions, we can trust it more and we can work with it more effectively.
It's about transparency and collaboration, humans and AI working together to solve problems.
This DeepSeek thing is kind of like a preview of the future, isn't it? It's not just about tech anymore. It's about the whole world changing.
You're hitting the nail on the head. This goes way beyond Silicon Valley. This has implications for global power dynamics, for international relations.
The U.S. has always been the leader in tech, but now you have China coming in and shaking things up.
It's a wake-up call for the U.S., and it highlights the fact that innovation can come from anywhere.
And AI is so intertwined with everything these days, from national security to the economy. It's hard to overstate how important this is.
The stakes are incredibly high, and the decisions made now will have lasting consequences.
So we have this incredibly powerful open-source AI developed in China, and it's causing all sorts of ripples across the world. It's a little unnerving, to be honest.
It's definitely a significant development, one that's raising a lot of questions and concerns. Governments are scrambling to figure out how to respond.
Do they try to restrict this technology? Do they embrace it? It's a tough call.
There are valid concerns about national security, about the potential for misuse, especially with something as powerful as AI.
But trying to suppress innovation can backfire, too. It could stifle progress and ultimately make you less competitive in the long run.
It's a delicate balancing act, and it requires a global perspective. We need international cooperation, open dialogue to navigate these uncharted waters.
We need to be talking to each other, working together, instead of just reacting out of fear.
Exactly. This is a global challenge that requires a global solution.
Now, let's talk about one of the things that makes DeepSeek really stand out. It's explainable AI. This is where things get really interesting.
This is what sets DeepSeek apart from a lot of traditional AI systems. It can actually explain its reasoning process before giving you an answer.
It's like having a conversation with the AI, right? It walks you through its thought process step by step.
Precisely. It tells you what factors it considered, what data it analyzed, how it arrived at its conclusion. This level of transparency is unprecedented.
It's a game changer for trust, right? You're not just blindly accepting what the AI tells you. You can actually understand why it's saying that.
And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities for using AI in a responsible and ethical way.
Imagine a doctor using DeepSeek to help diagnose a patient. Not only does the AI give a diagnosis, but it explains how it got there. It highlights potential red flags. It points out areas that require further investigation.
It becomes a powerful tool for collaboration between humans and AI, each bringing their unique strengths to the table.
Or think about a judge using DeepSeek to help assess the risk of recidivism in a criminal case. The AI can analyze data and provide a risk score, but it also explains which factors contributed to that score.
This transparency can help ensure that decisions are made fairly and that potential biases are identified and addressed.
So explainable AI isn't just some cool feature. It's a fundamental shift in how we interact with and use this technology.
It's about moving away from the black box model of AI and embracing transparency and accountability.
Now, we've talked about all the potential benefits of DeepSeek, but we can't ignore the ethical concerns that come along with it. This is powerful technology, and it's important to use it responsibly.
Absolutely. We've already touched on the concerns around censorship and surveillance, but there are broader ethical considerations to keep in mind.
Especially when you're talking about using AI in decision-making processes that affect people's lives. Things like loan applications, hiring practices, even medical diagnoses.
If we're relying on AI to make these decisions, we have a responsibility to ensure that the algorithms are fair and unbiased.
We need to be asking tough questions about how to prevent discrimination and ensure that everyone has equal opportunities.
These are complex issues, and there are no easy answers. But that's why it's so important to have these conversations now, before it's too late.
We need to develop ethical frameworks and guidelines for the development and deployment of AI.
And we need to ensure that this technology is being used for good, for the benefit of humanity, not for harm.
And that's where the open source nature of DeepSeek could actually play a positive role.
That's right. Having the code publicly available allows for greater scrutiny and transparency.
Researchers and developers all over the world can examine the algorithms, identify potential biases, and work together to find solutions.
It's like crowdsourcing the ethical development of AI. It's about ensuring that this technology reflects a global perspective, not just the values of a single company or government.
So DeepSeek is more than just a new piece of technology. It's a catalyst for a global conversation about the future of AI and its role in our lives.
It's a reminder that we all have a stake in this, and we all have a responsibility to shape this technology in a way that benefits everyone.
But ultimately, it comes down to one question. What does DeepSeek mean for you?
How will this technology impact your life, your work, your future? That's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we're back, and we've talked a lot about DeepSeek, the tech, the impact, the global stuff.
All right, all the big picture stuff.
But now I kind of want to bring it back down to earth a little.
Yeah, make it personal.
Exactly, because AI, especially something like DeepSeek, it's going to change things for everyone.
It really will, and it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the possibilities it opens up.
Okay, so let's say DeepSeek really does make AI accessible to everyone. What does that mean for the average person?
Well, could mean a lot of things. Think about those dreams you have, starting a business, creating something new, even just automating those annoying little tasks that take up your time.
Yeah.
Suddenly those things become a lot more attainable. You have the tools, you have the power to make them happen.
It's like the playing field is leveled, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be a big corporation with tons of resources to innovate.
Exactly. And with DeepSeek being open source, you have this incredible community of people all working together, sharing ideas, pushing the boundaries.
It's like the Wild West of AI. Anything is possible.
In a way, yeah. It's exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time.
But what about jobs? A lot of people are worried that AI is going to take away their jobs.
It's a valid concern. There's no denying that AI will automate certain tasks that are currently done by humans.
So what happens to those people?
Well, it's not about replacing humans. It's about finding ways for humans and AI to work together.
Right. It's about using AI to augment our abilities, not to eliminate us.
Exactly. And maybe it forces us to rethink what work even means. Maybe AI frees us up to pursue more creative, more fulfilling endeavors.
That's an interesting thought. I mean, if you don't have to spend all day doing boring, repetitive tasks, you can focus on things that actually matter to you.
And that's where DeepSeek's explainable AI comes in. It helps us understand how the AI is making decisions so we can trust it, work with it, and ultimately make sure it's being used for good.
Okay, so we've talked about the good, but let's be realistic here. There's also the potential for bad, right? I mean, any powerful tool can be misused.
Absolutely. And AI is no exception. We have to be aware of the risks, the potential for things like, misuse, surveillance, even manipulation.
It's like that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have open and honest conversations about the ethics of AI.
This isn't just a problem for tech companies or governments to solve. It's something we all need to be thinking about.
It's about our future, our society, the kind of world we want to live in.
So what can we do? I mean, it all seems so overwhelming.
Well, the first step is to stay informed, educate yourself about AI, understand the potential benefits and the risks.
Right. Knowledge is power.
And don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, be critical of the information you're given.
It's like we need to be active participants in this conversation, not just passive observers.
Exactly, because the future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're all creating together right now with every decision we make.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into DeepSeek, from the technical details to the global implications to the very personal questions about what it all means for us.
It's a complex topic, there's no doubt about that, but it's also incredibly fascinating, and ultimately, it's a story that's still being written.
And that's what's so exciting. We're all part of this story. We're all shaping the future of AI.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep thinking critically about the role AI will play in our world.
That's it for our deep dive into DeepSeek. Thanks for joining us.
And remember, the future is in our hands.
Until next time, stay curious.